Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to focus on the S&P 500 today, and I call it running on empty because that's exactly what this market is doing, and you're going to see why here in just a minute. We are running on empty. Continue to push higher, but getting a little low on fuel. All right, so let's talk about it. The S&P 500 was up 11.65 points on Friday, closing at a new all-time high, just like it did back on Tuesday. Let me zoom in here a little bit. And what's this dotted line? The dotted line is the prior intraday all-time high. So you can see after we closed at a new all-time high on Tuesday and punched above it, we got a little bit higher on Wednesday intraday, did not close there. And then we struggled on Thursday, and then Friday we struggled to push up too. So we're just kind of nudging up against that level, but we are closing at new all-time highs. Now, the breadth of the market, the volume of the market is very, very weak. Let's take a look at the weekly view in here. And the weekly view showing a similar type of thing. It was up 24.31 for the week, but yes, it's continuing to trend to the upside. And we'll talk about the Elliott Wave picture in a few minutes. What I want to talk about is I want to drill in and look at the breadth. So let me go to my McClellan oscillator data. So here's the interesting thing. We'll get to what the McClellan oscillator is telling us in a minute. What I'm doing here in this column, forget about this heading because this heading is incorrect. I'm not using the built-in math in here. I've created my own. What I'm doing here is I'm taking advancing, these headings are correct, advancing issues on the New York and declining issues on the New York. I take advancing divided by the total of advancing and declining. So what it's telling you is what percent is the advancing making up of the total of these two together. And you can see it's very weak. Look, the 2 days that we closed at new all-time highs, it was only 39% on Tuesday and 34% was advancing stocks on Friday. And by the way, the volume of advancing stocks was 36%. Incredibly low, incredibly weak. And so, you know, that's what's going on now as we're trying to punch in a new all-time highs. And if we continue to push higher, it's going to be interesting to see just how this plays out. Now, if we go back up to February, let's take a look at that. Here's where in February it was closing at new all-time highs. The orange, what I've done in the orange is I highlighted the days that had new all-time closing highs on the S&P 500. Look at the advancing as a percent of total advancing and declining. Okay, the advancing percent, pretty strong. So even back up here in February when it topped out, it was getting fairly decent breadth measures. Now, I haven't gone back and analyzed January and prior months. I just started kind of looking at this more recently. But boy, talk about a comparison between where we're at right now and what it was doing in February. The weakness is really amplified right now with this. Well, let's take a look at the McClellan oscillator. So here's the interesting thing. The McClellan oscillator is down here at minus 151. You can see the number. It's right here, minus 151.76. That's the reading. And what I'm doing is showing you graphically. The dashed line is minus 150. That's where when you get to this level and below, you are extremely oversold in the market. But what's really weird about this is we're at this deeply oversold level, but we haven't had major sell-off days. So you look at where this is right in here, minus 175, June 24th, and you know, May 13th. Well, let's just go back up here. Where's June 24th? Or July, I guess it was July, maybe it was June 24th. Here's June 24th. Okay, so we were getting some sell-off, pretty strong sell-off days. And May 13th, that was right in here. Okay, so the McClellan oscillator was showing up and showing deeply oversold conditions on on big moves to the downside. We don't have any big moves to the downside yet, but that oscillator is at minus 151, very negative. So I'm not quite sure what this means because I'm not sure if I've seen this before. It's kind of a weird reading, but honestly, we're getting a lot of weird readings right now. And it could be that if we start to turn down, that we're going to get deeply oversold, even, you know, more like what happened in March. So we'll see what happens. Now, in terms of another big flag that's waving, caution flag, is the McClellan Summation Index. Okay, this is a sum of the McClellan Oscillator. Now, what happens is you want to see this in sync in terms of confirming the moves to the upside with the market. Well, that didn't happen back here January, February. Here's the January highs, here's the February highs, not confirmed by the Summation Index, and it went in the tank. We're getting the same kind of non-confirmation right now, and over the last week we rolled back down. So we started to rally back up, thinking maybe, oh, are we going to challenge this in early June highs? Nope, we rolled back over in here. You know, we've done it before, but, you know, again, the most recent dramatic example is right here from January, February, and we're getting it again. The same thing's happening on the NASDAQ, only it's even more pronounced on the NASDAQ. The same thing is happening. Okay, so it's going to be really interesting to see where we go from here with this kind of a picture and this kind of caution flag. Okay, now to just even give a little more picture of the how the breadth is weak, here is the S&P 500 Equal Weight Index. Okay, so every stock in the S&P 500 is weighted equally. Here's where the Apples, the Facebook, the Alphabet, you know, the Netflix, on and on and on, the Microsofts are all influencing the, you know, the half dozen big cap stocks are all influencing this S&P 500, and they've punched way above that June 8th high, but yet the S&P Equal Weight has not even gone above the June 8th high, and actually looks like it's rolling over and possibly starting to break down. So pretty interesting divergence we're getting here. All right, let's take a look at the Elliott Wave picture. Okay, my most bearish scenario says that what we're doing is we're in a fifth intermediate wave. You can't say that this was the start of a bear market any longer. I understand that because we punched above the highs in February. Okay, this cannot be 1, 2, and then working our way down, because 2 cannot go beyond the start of 1, which is exactly what it just did. So here's what I believe we're doing. We're doing a fifth intermediate wave, a fifth and final intermediate wave. And so now the most bearish view says that we're very close to completing that fifth wave. I'll talk about the alternate view in a minute. But in order for this to be that case, here's the minor waves within it. Now, I know this looks a little bit short with wave 3, but when you do the math and you look at it, right here at 34.32 is where minor wave 5, this number right here, this move right here, equals the length of wave 3. Why is that critical? Because in Elliott Wave wave structure, wave 3 can never be the shortest wave. That's the rule. Well, if we push above 34.32, then all of a sudden that, by this labeling, makes wave 3 the shortest wave, and this is invalidated if we go above 34.32. That's why I'm watching this very close. I find it really interesting too. Look at the angle of ascent. This move, and then look how it's flattening in here compared to the angle of ascent in the two previous moves. So watching this. Now, if we continue to push higher, what is the alternate move? Let's show that. Okay, so the alternate view would say that we are in a bigger wave 5. Okay, this is the more bullish view of wave 5, and that it's something up like this. And based on when you look at intermediate wave 1, let me just shrink back down out of this. Let's see if I can do this. When I look at intermediate wave 1 right here, the start from March 2009, and intermediate wave 5, and because wave 3 was so extended, I'm looking for equality. Where does 5 equal 1? Well, 5 will equal 1 very close to 4,000 if we were to continue to push higher. Now, here's the interesting thing about this, though. When you look at a wave 5, an impulse wave like this, a fifth wave, can either be an impulse wave. I called it an impulse wave. The motive wave, wave 5, can either be an impulse like this, or it could be an ending diagonal. So if it's an ending, let's say it's an ending diagonal, we're going to get some overlapping chop. Okay, we're going to get this thing doing some zigzag type action in here. That's not clear at this point. Right now, it looks like it's wanting to do impulse, so we'll just have to see how this continues to unfold. But I'm just showing you, here's two possible scenarios for wave 5 to unfold in here in the 5th wave. Okay, this is the most bearish view. This is the most bullish view. This is the most bullish view. And this is the more bearish view, okay, that says we're very close to finishing this wave 5 right in here. Let's take a look at Tesla. I want to give an update on where Tesla is. We all know how that's been taking off like a rocket. But first, I got to play you a brief excerpt from my review of Tesla that I did on July 11th, okay? Saturday, July 11th. And I'm going to play that right now. All right, so right now it's sure acting like there's more to come. And yeah, we'll get a pullback in a wave 4. We'll push up, we'll complete wave 3, then we'll get an intermediate wave 4. We'll just go through the whole cycle just like what we've done in the past. But right now, it is definitely in breakout mode, there's no doubt. And you know, the numbers are getting pretty big. You know, you get up here, of course, Amazon got over 3,000, but you know, the numbers are getting pretty big. There's nothing that says they can't, you know, split the stock. I mean, they could split it 5-to-1, and then all of a sudden the numbers are a lot smaller. So we'll see what happens here over the next few weeks and as we get into earnings season. Okay, I honestly didn't remember what I had said, you know, verbatim in that. I had to go back and listen to it. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, well, you know, I did talk about a stock split exactly 4 weeks before they announced a stock split. Here's the last day that I did that video on July 11th. Here's July 10th trading. I did it on Saturday, July 11th. I said, as you just heard, I said, I think we're going to push up and finish minor wave 3, pull back into minor wave 4, and then push up and complete intermediate wave 3. Okay. Then we talked about how extreme the numbers are getting, but it's not unusual for them. I mean, they could split the stock 5-for-1. I had no idea they were going to do that. And then it's just amazing that literally on August 11th, literally 4 weeks later, they announced a stock split of 5-to-1. And I guess you had to be a stockholder of record as of yesterday, August 21st, okay, in order to be a participant. At least I believe that's correct. So right now, I think when I look at this, we could continue to push higher. This is a daily view. I think we're in the 5th wave. Here's the possible targets I've got for the end of this 5th wave in here, pushing up. Why am I looking at? I'm looking at these targets based on this 3 versus the length of 1. Okay, now 3 is getting extended. We've gone beyond 100%. Also, when I look at this, I'm looking at the channeling created by these minor waves in here. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how does that project? Well, it's really interesting that actually 138% kind of ties in. So we'll be to the top of the channel. We'll see if we continue to push up in there. I mean, right now, the high on Friday was 2095. Pretty amazing. When I did the video, we had closed over here at 1544. Okay. So up here at 138%, we'd be talking about 2343 pre-split anyway. So we'll see where we go. Once we complete intermediate wave 3, I'm expecting an intermediate wave 4 pullback, most likely right back into the previous 4th wave area. Okay, maybe it just goes to this channel. We'll have to wait and see, one wave at a time. And then we'll have one more push to complete the 5th wave of primary wave 3. So that is the short-term picture. This is what I've got on Tesla. We'll see how it plays out. It has sure been taking off like a rocket. So anyway, hope you found that helpful. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that little subscriber button. If you'd like more of this kind of information on a daily basis, I talk about this every day with members over here at joehenches.net, Beyond the Chart. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll talk to you on the next video.